President Gaiser, it's indeed an honor to be able to interview you in this forum. Welcome to the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy. The EMUNI is one of the rare institutions with a connecting role between the EU and the Arab League. How is EMUNI promoting exchange and dialogue between those institutions, especially with regard to ongoing conflicts in the Middle East?
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, first of all. It's really a great pleasure to be here today. And, well, it's a hard task, I have to say, because, of course, we are probably the only institution of the Barcelona process working and carrying on, of course, all our master's programs and doctorate programs, PhD programs. And, of course, our main target is to continue to do that. It means to force and to support postgraduate studies. And the main goal is, of course, the exchange of the students and the faculties, the academics, among our 42 countries that are members of EMUNI University, 206 universities, in order, of course, to try to have still this open-minded way of thinking. Then, specifically in the last period, of course, we are organized in still campus, or I can say summer schools, that are clearly oriented to an intercultural dialogue. And I'm very, very proud to say that very likely we are one of the last institution where Palestinians and Israeli students and professors, or you can say academicians, are talking freely without any problem. And it's really very important because we can touch this on the field.
Yeah. Steffi, I'll hand you the microphone.
The ICD is currently running a research on multiculturalism, and we're really interested in your opinion as a geopolitical analyst. Would you say that there exists a difference between multinational states and multicultural states? And if so, how would you define it?
Well, that's one of the most beautiful topics in international relations. It's fascinating, really. I can divide if you are thinking about the multinational states and the multicultural states, well, I would prefer multicultural states because they are all together. They are not divided. They are not. There are no borders inside the nations or inside the state between nations. And the multiculturalism, for example, I'm coming now from Slovenia. Okay, I know that it's not very strongly stressed, but however, it's a little country with different cultures, with different religions, and they are, of course, living all together. Big multi-state or multinational country, it means that the balance is still not present. But of course, it's better to have a multi-state or multinational state than to have a war, if we have to divide and to maintain the peace. So it's very hard to find the last solution or the last answer. But however, of course, if you have multicultural states without divided nations inside, it means this is the best solution. For example, today we heard from the Minister of Lebanon, the Minister of Higher Education of Lebanon. Once that Lebanon will fail, well, then the world failed. That is really true, and that's nice.
The last question is concerning the financial crisis. After the financial crisis, the gap between rich and poor countries in Europe is increasingly growing. What could the EU do to eradicate the poverty, and how can organizations like the EMUNI help to bridge the gap? And do you think cultural diplomacy could also help to solve it?
Yes, first of all, step back, sorry, in order to not be misunderstood. When I say that it's nice, I was not thinking, of course, it's nice to have the collapse of Lebanon, but it's nice, of course, that Lebanon is a clear example of a multicultural society. And maybe one day we'll cut, you know, in the YouTube, the president of EMUNI said. No, just a little bit joke. However, yes, the last question is interesting. It's true. I was thinking also to have a part of the speech today dedicated to the uprises. Not only the uprises in the Arab world, the Arab Springs, and I stressed springs, not spring, because they are state by state influenced in a different way. And we have a sort of European springs also here. Everything it can be seen inside the biggest scenario of the financial crisis. But then we have specific points and reasons also inside the different states. And we have uprisings, for example, in Greece, we have uprisings in Slovenia and somewhere else that are, of course, pushed by different reasons that are linked to Slovenia or Greece. Now, here I can say that very likely the only academic world can do something together with the politicians. Well, the politicians, this is a request of changes, it's a request of something new, especially in Europe, where it was unexpected. What is happening is a sort of, I took a walk today in the morning through Berlin, and then there's a wonderful historical table explanation in front of the Brandenburg Gate about the uprisings in 1848. Well, at that time there was no collapse of system, there was no collapse of states, but there was a great change inside societies. And very likely Europe, after 60-70 years, is coming to a point where changes are needed. And here inside these changes, of course, the politicians and academicians or academic environment must work together in order to find the right solution for each society, in order to maintain compact this system, and of course to go forward, for example, with the European Union, with our democratization of states, democratic states, in order to maintain the stability and the peace in our region, because this is the most important point.
Can I follow up with one more question?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah, regarding these, especially the uprising in Europe, you said that changes are needed, and people are asking for change. But do you see change happening? I'm referring, for example, to the Italian political situation, where now the situation is not changing at all. In Spain as well, they asked for change, but in Greece as well. And it seems that there is desire for change, but Europe seems stuck to the old order.
I completely agree with you. It's a big problem. It's a big problem, and it is. Everybody perfectly have seen that few months ago, still Europe was very, very close to a collapse point. And why? Because Europe is still based on national states. Now, I'm not debating if it's good or not, but it is. And now, the trouble in one state is a trouble for all Europe. And of course, an unstable Italy, an unstable Spain, an unstable little Slovenia are very important for all the construction. And it's true. They found the solutions in Europe, in order to maintain the state of Europe, in Brussels. Not at a low level, not at as Buzek said yesterday, not using subsidiarity, but pushing everything to the responsibility of a not accountable Brussels bureaucracy. And that's very bad, really. And here's the problem, because the local elites are not opening enough, are not changing enough. They're really putting at risk not only the state, but the whole system of the European Union. Now, this is the reason, because I underline this point. Academic environment and political environment must work together in order to try to control this mass of people. And I can say, for example, at least in Slovenia, there are people from 18 to 40, 45, the generation that really would like to breathe and not to be controlled by the old elites, Italy, for example. And that's the good point, because they are not revolutionary. They're not taking stones and they are not firing, but they are really fighting for something new. And I believe in the period of 1 year, something must change. Something must change, and this is why I try to parallelize 1848 and today's days. Because at that time, a lot changed inside the societies without changing in the stability of the European environment.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.